Welcome back to part 2 of the 1973 Honda SL125 build here. We're basically going to get this bike back to running condition. Then we'll go back with cosmetics and see how nice we can make it. Very excited to start this channel and have you guys come along for the ride. This is really our first documented build or restoration that I've done over the last 30 years, so very excited about that. So to get started with this, I know we're going to get fuel. That's not going to be a problem. An issue we may have is spark. We have to check and see if we have good spark. But alongside of that, we got to have compression. Now, the bike does have good compression. I can feel it. But I want to put a number to it because I really want to know how close this is to being okay. Now, mileage, we're at 1,244 miles, so good candidate to possibly be still good with the top end, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to start by removing the seat. In this case, it isn't bolted down, so I guess we're in luck with that. I'm just going to set this off to the side. So getting into the electrical system here, looks like the battery's over on this side, so let's take a peek at this battery here. Now this cover should just be, press fit. Okay, here's the battery. Wow, we have some cable tie here holding that in place, so I'm just going to grab some cutters real quick, and then we are going to remove that. So hopefully we aren't finding too many of these things where things are cobbled together. I'm imagining we're going to find a broken tab. Yeah, the tab here is definitely broken, so I'm going to go set this off to the side. Alright, so look at this little guy. So someone was using wire instead of a battery strap to hold this in place. Alright. Pull that out. I'm just going to carefully pull this battery out. Alright, so we've got some little baby wire connectors here, so I'm going to remove those. I'm guessing it's a 10 millimeter. I'm going to get in here. And nope, those are either 9s or 8s. So I'm going to go grab those sockets real quick. Get this guy off. There's no way that's an 8. I'll go with my first guess. That was a 9 millimeter. And we'll get in here. Wow, I'm wrong again. Huh. Okay, 8 millimeter. Here we go. Yep, perfect fit. 8 millimeter it is. Now this is a 6-volt system. Make sure that any work we do to this, that we're running 6 volts of power here. And this is our vent hose. Disconnect that. And we're going to go over here for a little work area. Okay, so we have brand new battery, brand new vent hose, brand new hardware. Okay, so that's good. And we've got our battery. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure the width and the height, the thickness here is correct, because if it's not, you're definitely going to have some problems getting this battery in. Paper here. Okay. Now, we're going to remove these plugs which hold the acid in the battery. Now this is a vent. You got to be very careful. You always want to remove that vent because this battery needs to be vented very well. Alright, and so here is our acid. We're going to remove that very carefully. Now with this, you definitely want to be wearing some safety glasses. In some workshops, you might need some extra ventilation, so you want to be very careful that this doesn't splash on your clothes, splash on your skins. You may want to wear gloves. Definitely safety glasses to be safe. Okay, so here's our acid. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick, we're going to take a quick snip off the top here. Cover that. Peel. Okay. Now we're going to get our hose put on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill it on a level surface right up to the bottom level. And the reason you're going to fill it up to the bottom level is that level may go up or down as we're charging it. So start filling. Again, you want to squeeze the bottle. You're going to be watching the level. So this is actually filling the first third of the battery cells. I'm going to go right up. You can see how it settles a little bit. I'm going to go right up to the first line. A little bit more. Be very careful not to splash the tube as I go to the next cell. And we're going to start filling. Good. Okay, I'm going to go over to the third one. And any cells that settle or looks like it needs a little bit more as we go, we can top it off. All right, let's take a peek at where we're at. Wow. So that was the entire package. So this kit basically had exactly enough acid to fill up. It looks like we're slightly short. I'm going to have to look back at some of my other projects and see if I have a little bit of acid left over. But for right now, we are going to be okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out our brand new battery charger that we picked out. Now this one does both 6 volt and 12 volts, so let's get right to it. Okay. So this one looks fairly simple. It's a smart charger. Basically just plug in and go. We do need to make sure, again, that it's set for 6 volts. Now this might be a smart charger where it knows if the battery is a 12 or 6 volt system. Okay, so it looks like we can switch between, okay, there is a switch here. We're going to take a peek. Oh, okay, so we can switch the mode here. So before we connect it to our battery, what we're going to do is plug in power to our system. And again, you got to make sure that your leads are not touching each other and that they're separated. And right now you see it's on 12 volts, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit the mode button. And we've now switched to 6 volts. So I'm going to set this off to the side here. And I'm going to turn our battery around and I'm going to read our terminals. So right here we have positive, which is our red connection. And we have our black, which is our negative connection. And now I'm going to do our positive side first. Got a nice good connection here. I'm going to do our black, which is our negative second. Alright, now you can see excuse me, the light on our charger is flashing. So we are going to allow this battery to charge for a bit and then we will look at the rest of the system. Okay, while the battery is charging, what we're going to do is a compression test. And this is a basic kit that will allow us to read how many pounds per square inch of compression that we have. Now, most engines, you want to be in the 140, 150, 160 PSI as a general rule I think theoretically, if you look at the book for an engine, you need a minimum of 90 psi. Now that's not good by any means. So for a single cylinder motorcycle like this, I'm going to want to be, I'll be happy if I'm in the 120 to 140 range for this bike being this old and for sitting so long. So I put an 18 millimeter 3/8 drive socket on here. Ooh. And it was snug. So we're going to get this guy out of here. Actually, I think our gas tank may or may not be attached. Okay, it is. So I'm going to move this off to the side also. Get that out of the way. All right, so spark plug out. We'll see what we got now. Just looking at the spark plug. Just trying to see how it was running before. Now you can see that it's slightly black and carbon fouled on the electrode. This isn't horrible. If it was really black and really covered in soot and oil, and you'd know that there's something going on where it's blowing by a bunch of oil. Now let's just say it didn't. It had the piston rings, the valve train, everything was running good. But it was getting too much fuel, which means it's running really, or not enough fuel, I should say. It's running really lean. This would be a very white colored or tannish colored look. So this looks like to be an okay temperature for this electrode. Now this is an NGK D8EA, very popular plug for this Aaron style bike. So let's get the compression tester going. Okay, so we're using a Craftsman set today, and this guy is going to give us a numerical value for our pounds per square inch. So let's see here. That is the wrong size. Put down one more size here. This is just a standard kit. And that is also the wrong side. Oh, we need to use one of our adapters. My mistake here. Okay. So if we use this, try to make sure we use the right adapter. Okay, very good. Now, there's an O-ring in between here, so you need to make sure that's nice and clean. And I will thread this down. Nice and easy. You don't want to get it too tight. Just tight enough. And I'm going to get my quick disconnect on there. And we'll get the gauge on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it over. And we're going to see what the gauge says. Okay, so focus, sorry guys. Okay, we are right about, oh, this does not want to focus today. Okay, we are right about 130 psi. Okay, so that's right in the middle of where I wanted to be, so I am happy with that. All right, so we're going to get this compression tester out of the way. Away, and let's actually get that battery back on the new battery in the bike. It's been on charge for a little while. I would like to put the spark plug in, and let's just kick it over a couple times. We'll turn the key on, make sure that the kill switch is off, and just see if we get any kind of a spark at all. That, if for this video, for the short amount of time we have today, if we can get this thing to spark, this will be so awesome. I'll be very happy. So let's get right on to it. All right, we got our new battery over here. I'm just gonna get our negative. Wow, some of these wires we may have to replace on the road. So we're gonna do our positive terminal first. Here. Brand new hardware, brand new battery. This is going to take out some variables for troubleshooting. It's so easy to think you solved the problem when you haven't, or let's just take out some of these variables. Yeah, we're going to have to replace some of these terminals as we go through this restoration. Right now, I just want to see if we can get some good spark out of this guy. And I'm just going to put the vent hose, I'm going to hook up the old vent hose. We'll probably put the new one back in. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up our charger also, because I just want to make sure that this has good solid charge on it when we try and check for spark. So let's get this guy back on here, and I'm going to do our positive side, and we're going to do the negative. All right. Now, I do not have a spark tester, but okay, we got a brand new MGK, and again, this is a D8 EA, very popular spark plug for these size bikes. And the length looks correct. I did not gap the plug, but right now let's just make sure that we have some spark at all. So put the spark plug in there. I'm going to lay it right on the top of the head here. We're going to double check our kill switch is in the run position. And we're going to go down to our key. Now, let's see. It's kind of hard to read. Is on. Off. Hardly see it, but it looks like it goes blue to red, so. Wow. I'm going to say the red is off, and that might be faded green, so guys, let me know down in the comments. Am I looking at this wrong, or I guess we're going to find out. I'm going to say red is off, and that blue or green is on. Alright, so another thing to note here on our ignition coil is here's our condenser, and this will go right down through, and there's a set of points in here. So the points and or the condenser may be bad, so let's just see if we got some spark. I'm kind of dying to know, so we'll get over here to the side and we'll get right around here so we can see the spark plug. And what I'll do is I'll just angle it so that you can kind of see the spark straight on through here. I'm actually going to turn off the light because it's kind of hard to see right here. I'm having a hard time telling if it's sparking or not, so I'm just going to turn over by hand. I'm not seeing anything at all, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the key the other way. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, well, I guess it's safe to say that that did not fix our problem. Got the light back on here, so. Alright guys, so for our next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to replace the points and condenser. We're going to make sure those are gapped properly. And we will get this guy to spark. And then we will move on to the fuel. We have good compression, very glad to see that, guys. We got on the gauge 30 PSI, 130 PSI, which is probably as good as this thing will be for right now. And again, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. This channel is very important to us, and we thank you for helping us out with all that. And we'll see you next time.